Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 482 of the MTG Goldfish podcast. I'm Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and we have the full crew here this week. Kicking things off with the owner of MTG Goldfish, Richard. How are you this fine Monday, Richard?
Good morning, Seth. A good Pro Tour weekend.
Yeah, I watched a lot of the Pro Tour this weekend. I actually did, and it was really entertaining, actually. But we'll get into that in a minute. We got another co-host in Grim. Good morning, Grim. How are you today?
Good morning. This Pro Tour this past weekend has been amazing. It's been awesome watching Pro Magic and like Standard after a fresh new set.
Well, I don't know how much the fresh new set had to do with it, but yes, it was
Outlaws
entertaining.
What happened? There was a cowboy hat on coverage. That was it. We got it.
They said "holy cow" a lot. They did that a lot on coverage. It's a holy cow moment.
If you would like for me to answer that question, Phantom Interference was there. All right, that was awesome. 3 steps ahead was there.
Yeah.
Are we just forget? You know, that's what the main cast is for. We'll talk about that.
I mean, you are right. That's going to be our first and biggest topic for today is this weekend's Pro Tour, what's going on in Standard, how the event was, coverage, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to talk about that. Going to talk a little bit about Hasbro's earnings. They just announced their earnings, and along with it, some kind of interesting arena news, maybe. And then also, I want to talk a little bit about the arena economy and the big scorecards, and then also some weird collecting news just for fun, and then some fish mail. So that's the overview for today. Before we get into it, a reminder that today's show is brought to you by Card Conduit, and Card Conduit's the easiest way to sell your Magic cards. If you ever get tired of the hassles of buy listing, you can skip them with Card Conduit. You can use their curated service and send in as many cards as you want with a buy list value of $1 or more and pay just a 5% fee. And if you want to do a bit of work, you can use their sorted service where you list and sort your cards in advance and pay just a 2% fee. And either way, you're going to get a detailed report with the results in a fast payment once your order is processed. And you can even get another 10% off by heading over to cardconduit.com/MTGGoldfish. Card Conduit, they're the easiest way to sell your Magic cards. So thank you to Card Conduit for supporting the show. And let's talk some Magic, and let's start with Pro Tour Thunder Junction. So this weekend, we had a paper Pro Tour. It was not at a Magic Con. Usually there are Magic Cons. This is the only one of the year that was kind of by itself, just for the tournament. It was showing off Standard post Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Richard, why don't you tell us kind of what happened or the top 8 of the event, and then we can dig into this event and Standard and coverage and all that good stuff.
All right. So overall metagame, which Wizards released on Friday, a lot of Esper midrange, like 30-ish%. Boros Convoke up there, 10%. Team Your Analyst, 9%. Domain, 7%. 4-color Legends, 7%. Those were the heavy hitters. You can see that's quite diverse outside of the overrepresentation of Esper midrange. And then top 8, we had 2 Esper midrange, 1 Teamer Analyst, 2 4-color Legends, a Boros Convoke, and then Azorius Control, and then Domain Ramp. Finals, Domain Ramp versus Azorius Control. Turns out Japanese people are very good at Magic the Gathering. I think 3 of the top 4 Japanese, same team too, actually. Finals, straight Japanese finals. Ikawa versus Takahashi. Takahashi is Fairy Mastermind.
The player that is on
the thing we always play in Commander that we flash him in. Turns out he's pretty good at Magic because he has his own card. But alas, Azorius Control fell to the absurdity that is Ramp. Couldn't answer all of the answers. And the Ramp deck, of course, plays Atraxa. But overall, very little Thunder Junction cards aside from the Crim special of like my Azorius Control has like 4 Thunder Junction cards.
Is this the narrative we're spinning on that?
I'm just saying, it's not like there was a new archetype, right? It was a very diverse Standard, very grindy, slow Standard. Outlaws made a little splash here or there, but no new archetypes, no like new crazy breakout deck or anything like that.
I mean, what about 4-color Legends?
That deck, it
existed.
What's an Outlaws card that's even in that deck, though? That deck's been around before Outlaws.
Vile Smasher, Honest Rutstein, which is being the big one.
Tiny Bones.
like Tiny Bones as well. Like
I
those
mean,
are.
there's a couple additions.
not like
I mean, I don't know.
one
Source may have
card.
had more additions though. That's like 2-3 cards.
Oh yeah, yeah.
but
and then
Four Card
Azorius
Legends
has
has
a lot.
existed before, right? This is not
Sure,
a new.
sure. But
There
the
were
fact that-
no spicy
what
new
did-
decks. Like
What
basically
did,
no
what did
spicy
I
new decks.
say the last podcast before the Pro Tour? Because I actually didn't know there was one until Seth told me about it.
I mean, it was
But
your
then-
control in the finals, playing
Yeah.
like spicy, tech additions from Outlaws of Thunder Junction, right?
I mean, 3 steps ahead is not tech. That at that point now we have like Archmage's Charm or Cryptic Command in standard, right?
Cryptic Command.
Like this is a oh god, this deck list is beautiful. But on top of that, like what I said in the last podcast is I actually think that going into this, I don't know if there'll be a brand new archetype. Sure, there might be a cool one, like something pops up out of nowhere, which I don't know if it'll be brand new, but it's cool to see 4-color Legends go up and like get rocketed up to the top here, right? And then on top of that, I did say that I think it may just be 1 to 2 new cards in each deck, but that's exactly what you would expect in a standard that's like stacked with powerful cards. I don't know. I guess for me, I did not expect there to be a brand new archetype.
So we actually have the data, right? If you look at our tournament page for Pro Tour Thunder Junction,
and
you're gonna see we have like 200-ish decks in the tournament. Pest Control is the top most played Outlaws card in these decks at 69 decks.
Nice.
Duelist of the Mind at 30, Tiny Bones at 20, 3 steps ahead at 20. So the fall off is a lot, right? Like 3 steps ahead, 20 out of 200, 10% of decks, right? But Pest Control, as we expected, is the most played card at 69.
Wait. I'm very curious would this have been deemed a like Outlaws irrelevant unless a card overtook the whole tournament by like 70% or so?
I mean, I think
or at least a new archetype, right? At least a new
I
archetype.
think people
coming
want to
up
see new
compete.
decks. Like
Yeah.
seeing Esper again for the 3rd year in a row, or Boros Convoke, which you lose to on the ladder every other match. Like, I don't know. For me, like, I get the tuning argument. I think from I don't know. I hear pros talk about that all the time. I think from like a spiky perspective, when you're like, oh my God, they're playing like the new counter spell in the control deck. That's such awesome tech. It can make a 2/2 spirit. That's like earth shattering. Like from that perspective, like, yes, that makes sense. For me, I want to see like a new deck and doing something new, not just like, oh, they added a couple of cards to a deck that I've already seen before. So
You have
I
that
think
in
my
Commander.
bar's
You need
a
new
little bit
Commander. You need
higher.
decks. You get Commander. Just play like this. This is where I want to see you get outplayed. You want to see the fine tuning, right? Like also.
There was a lot of that happening.
Just to say like it is Esper mid-range. I think that was the most like I think that is downplaying and completely doing a huge disservice to the entire beauty that was this whole Pro Tour. It was Esper mid-ranges here and there. Yes, they did exist, but watching them get played at high levels and like seeing the depth inside each deck and in like like the domain deck, like you would think, oh, everybody thinks, oh, it's just domain. Get to Atraxa. Done.
This reminds me of when pros used to argue that Caw-Blade standard was actually literally the best standard of all time. It was a one deck meta. It was a one deck meta where you could only play a single deck, but it was so skill intensive in like every choice you made mattered so much. So I think that's just it's a difference of perspective. I think if that's your perspective, that's fine and that's great and it's awesome. But I don't think a lot of people have that perspective. I think it's like a very high level perspective to have on the format that most people just don't have.
Ain't no way you're gonna say I have any high level anything. All right. So first off, like I am the lowest common denominator, and if I can enjoy that, you need to be able you gotta understand here. Like
I'm not saying I didn't enjoy. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy the Pro Tour. The Pro Tour had some really good matches, and they were very entertaining matches. Like there were some 2-hour long, super close, back and forth, like really good matches of Magic. So hopefully it's not sounding like that, because I think for what it was, a Pro Tour with all existing decks that I've seen a lot of times, the Magic itself was really good and it was really well played and there were some really interesting games. I was just, I guess, hoping for that, like Install Artifact deck, or like we've seen Pro Tours in the past where someone, a team is like, wow, I figured out a way to do something really cool and new in the format, and that we didn't see. Like no one did that. And I'm actually curious.
Orzhov Bronco. That did well for what it was.
You know the meme about like flipping Emrakul off your Dark Confidant? Some dude actually made that meme a reality and brought it to a pro tour. He was just firing in there with his Broncos on turn 2 with Shadow of Mortality, a 15 drop in his deck, just like hopefully I don't flip it. Like the deck's hilarious, but I can't believe there's actually a Dark Confidant Emrakul deck that was at the pro tour and someone was playing.
That's right, at the Pro Tour, by the way. This isn't your local FNM. We're talking about the Pro Tour. That's funny, right? Like that's
YOLO. You just got to go for it. Hope for the best.
It's not that bad. We play crazy crap with Bob. You haven't bobbed enough in life. It's like a one of. It's fine. You know what this remind me of? What was that standard with Whisperwind Elemental, where everyone just played like
Fate Reforged, like with
green white mid-range fest, and every match took like 2-3 hours because everyone just did the mid-range grindy thing. Like this standard is so grindy, and as someone who's really not me, but if you are someone who's really good at Magic, this is what you want, right? Because like all the decks are kind of the same. You're gonna play for like 3 hours. The better person will come up on top, right? Like they'll be able to overcome variance, right? Which is kind of the meme that pros want the one deck meta. Everyone has the same deck. You can't out tech me. You can't cheese me with your tech, right? Like we're just gonna play good old Magic, and whoever has better fundamentals will win. So I get that. And it was a very fun pro tour. But at the same time, I wouldn't say Outlaws of Thunder Junction like was crazy. It's just like it exists.
Rest in peace.
It's better than some sets that literally have like no cards show up anywhere. Right, but you know, it was a commander set. Right,
so you all are wild. No way, dude. Y'all are wild right now. A commander set.
I didn't say it's a commander set. I still think Outlaws is a powerful set. I think we're also gotta remember it's 3-year standard, and we see that. Look at Pioneer Modern. Like the bigger your format is, the less impact any new set's gonna have on that format because it's competing with so many other cards. So I think it like kind of makes sense. My question is, this Pro Tour happened pretty quickly after set release. Do you think that played into it? Because I saw like Jim Davis was talking about like, oh, we tested all these super cool things, but then we just played Esper because, you know, we didn't have that much time for testing. It's only a week after like set release, but you know, maybe, 6 weeks from now, maybe it'd be different. Like, do you think that played into it? Do you think we saw more people default to Esper and less like breaking it brews because of the short time frame? And if the Pro Tour was a month from now, people would have figured out something else that would be, breaking the meta or something?
Richard, I feel like you know the answer to this as someone who like plays Jund, a deck where everyone's like, I don't know, I'm just gonna play Jund at every tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it pretty much tells you there's no Eldrazi combo deck that's like 2x better than the next deck. Maybe you can craft a Thunders of Junction deck that's like within 1% of Esper mid range, but you have no reps in it, right? Like you're not gonna bother with it. But I would take this world over the do nothing, wait 4 weeks. See all the results on Moto and Arena, and then have a pro tour where it's like, surprise, breaker deck. Like, I've seen this on ladder like 80 times again.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is not as like the innovation again would be like, wow, the fourth make disappear the deck, crazy, right? Like, like it doesn't matter, right? So I'll take this. I don't know how you would get the pros to play the new deck. That's not exceptionally like breakout, right? Like I don't know that you can incentivize that. I don't know that it matters at all. Like I'd rather just have the hype going into it. I'd rather them just not post deck lists on Friday. Like to me, that killed the hype. I only watched the last day because on Friday the deck list came out. I'm like, look, it's Esper mid range. I know this deck. Okay, I don't need to watch the spice. I'll just wait till Sunday to see what makes it to the top 8. So I think keep the timing, but don't dump the deck list. Like, do not dump the deck list or the stats on Friday, and then let everyone find out in real time. Have some intrigue and awe. I think
the intrigue and awe comes open deck lists and posting them was fine, right? The awe.
This is it. I already knew it was Esper mid range. I don't care anymore.
But that's I think then like that the problem there isn't what they're dumping, right? Because like the deck list being dumped is like whatever. It's the beauty is watching these deck lists get played, right? That's the Pro Tour.
But that's like showing a trailer and then having the finale in there, and you're like, don't worry, I didn't spoil it though, because you got to watch how it unfolds. So you got to watch the movie anyway, right? I'm like, technically true, but
But
you
is
could
that
watch
not-
it unfold and have the surprise ending too, right?
Maybe, yeah, you have a twist and whatnot, but like just like a movie or music, it's been done before, right? But the thing here is, how did we get there, right? Or what's the journey like there does matter. That is an integral part.
Okay,
And
so we'll
how
give you
did
the
we
Super
get to
Bowl
the top
score.
eight?
We'll give you the Super Bowl score, and then
I mean,
and then
But
and then
how
we'll
did
let
the
you get
Super Bowl
to the journey.
end like that, right?
I think the issue is open deck lists, right? Like you can't really have open deck lists and not publish the lists, because then you run into like all the issues with scouting and like, what if someone watches coverage and sees their opponent's deck? Like you have all this weirdness that goes on that they were trying to eliminate by doing it this way. I think open deck lists make the tournament worse. I noticed that even doing this like Moto Masters thing, there were some decks I was like, wow, this deck would be really cool to play, but if my opponent gets to look at it and knows what I'm trying to do, like they're going to be able to stop it so easily. And I think it does lead to more like defaulting towards the default decks like Esper, like a deck that's like well-rounded. It can be aggro, it can be defensive, like it can switch roles. So I think it incentivizes that over more like risky glass cannon strategies, because you don't have the element of surprise, right? So I don't think they'll ever get rid of it. Personally, I would prefer non-open deck lists, but if you have open deck lists, I guess you might as well publish the lists. I don't know. So what did you think of this tournament overall? What did you think of the coverage? We haven't really talked about coverage. How did you think coverage went? We had like, I think a peak of, well, I didn't see the very, very end because I was watching on my TV and couldn't see the number, maybe 20,000. I know like heading into the top 8, it was like 17. I don't know if it got much over 20. Like, what do you think of coverage of the event?
Oh, I thought it was fine. I mean, like I enjoyed it mostly. It was, I don't know. Couldn't ask for more. I mean, this is just what it always was, right? Like when it came to watching Paper Magic, it didn't feel that much different to me than what it was before. So more of what I had growing up.
So tell me if I've been watching too much One Piece, but like, did the cards get smaller? Like I feel there's like way more playmat being shown, and I'm not sure if it's because I've been watching so much One Piece, or like did they like remove a panel from the UI or something? Like I feel like I saw like the table was like gigantic. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, am I smoking?
I think it's the playmats that they had him play on, because they had the playmats that were like to show you where to put everything. Like your graveyard goes here, everything goes here. So I think they were like oversized playmats that made them look really big. I noticed that too, though, but I think it was just the playmats that they used. There was one game, I don't know if you saw it, I think it was on day 2, where someone was playing one of the graveyard decks, one of like the Aftermath Analyst decks, and they had their graveyard was kind of just like pushing over into the battlefield, and you couldn't really tell like the difference between where it started and began. So I think the idea of having everyone like standardize their cards in the same place makes sense. But yeah, I did notice that as well. I thought coverage was better than normal. Like I thought that they did a really good job keeping the pace going, which was one of the problems with old tournaments is like sometimes it was really slow. You get these really long breaks, tons of filler. But I thought this was like pretty good at going right to the next match where you do like the feature match and then go through the backups. And then the breaks were like pretty minimal. They kept it down to like a couple of minutes back into the next thing. So I thought the coverage was like, I thought it was upgraded compared to like past events, especially in the distant past, like a few years ago. I thought it was much better than before. So that was encouraging. I was hoping for more viewers. I know like 20K is like kind of meh, but I don't know. What can you do? It's the first Pro Tours back.
Magic as a category hasn't had 20K in a while.
Yeah, maybe that's the problem, is just overall Magic on Twitch is not super hot.
There's the Twitch sidebar, and it's just showing like just random person just chatting like 70K, 50K. I'm like, damn. What happened? Look at this high level Magic being played, but we're just chilling, just chatting. not even like, when esports happens and you're like, we're being beaten by League or whatever, Valorant,
Russian
like,
Fishing
okay,
3.
I get it. But like some dudes just like eating chips chatting. Like, damn.
Yo, but like people want to know, like 70,000 people want to know what flavor are those chips? Is the texture good? Like I could understand that. That's mukbang.
He's auditioning for the next Doctor Who set where people just sit around and eat things and then become Magic cards. What do you think of what do you think of some of these decks? So obviously, most play deck Esper. I don't think there's any reason even to talk about that. I don't think there's even, in most of the list at least, any innovations. It's like, I don't think there's any new cards. Maybe there's like Pest Control or Rest in Peace in the sideboard, but like no main deck innovations really to Esper. What do you think of the graveyard deck, Crib? Teamer Analyst. So the land combo deck. I wanted to ask you about this in specific because I watch a lot of games and I really like that deck and I think it's super fun. The impression I got though is the deck's actually pretty bad if people build their sideboards correctly. We saw even in the top 8 a lot of matches where the analyst deck would go up 2-0 in the non-sideboarded games.
We saw
and then
that.
the opponent would bring in their rest in pieces and they would not be able to win one of the 3 post-board games. They would fight and claw and almost do it, but it wouldn't work out. So like, how good do you think Teamer Analyst is in a rest in peace meta, like on Arena or something? Like, do you think this tournament makes it better because it performed well, made the top 8, or do people know how to beat it now and we're going to see too many rest in pieces and you should kind of stop playing that deck on the ladder?
I mean, I think you saw their rest in peace, though very good. It's not like, I think it's not the end, right? Like, it just made it so that like the matchup is closer for the deck that clearly had, you know, the numbers against them, right? So now you're just seeing rest in peace bring that gap closer. That doesn't invalidate the deck. That just means that the deck will also adjust to it, right? And like, I mean, you can only adjust so much to a pick your poison, or I mean, with a pick your poison kind of effect. But like, maybe you bring in like more negates, you bring in like a 4th negate or something like that, to get ready for rest in pieces, or you get ready with more doppelgangs, right? Like you saw, like, okay, well, my graveyard is offline, but it doesn't matter because I still have like a billion lands. So like, yeah, maybe you slow down the analyst and whatnot and the recursion loop between that and Shigeki, but you can still win and do other big mana things. So I think the deck is still good post Pro Tour. It may even get better.
Yeah, I think maybe like the transformational sideboard plan, or like it's not even really fully transformational, but like the Bonnie Paul, Titan of Industry, Sky Turtle stuff. I think that's pretty important. Like if you're gonna play the deck, you got to have a plan for it, because if you can't answer Rest in Peace and you don't plan for it, you're not gonna win by Aftermath Analysting or Nissa Beatdown. So I think like Rest in Peace, I think does kind of like shift the matchup. I don't think the deck's dead, but it did look pretty bad post board in some of those matchups. Richard, I know you watched
It looked
go ahead,
bad.
Grim.
It looked, I mean, I felt like even post board, right? Yeah, like post board, like the games felt like it was, you know, like one top deck away, right? And that was represented. I think it was in game 4 of the 5, right, with Ikawa versus Sean Goddard, right? Like I think right there, like you just saw, or was it the last game where, oh my god, I peeled Doppelgang, the entire game is wide open again. Right, like
That was pretty lucky. That was pretty lucky.
that
I
was
felt
lucky.
like
That was lucky.
I felt like the deck was pretty disadvantaged post board against Rest in Peace. Like, not that you can't win, but I felt like it went from being very favored in game, almost like Dredge or something, where like Dredge in Modern or Legacy, where in game 1 you're like super favored to steamroll people because they can't really interact with you. And I think that's what Analyst does. Like, Analyst just plays a different game than what any other deck is doing. So in game 1, you're like super favored, and then I thought it was like a relatively big dog in games 2, or like games 3 through 5 or whatever. Not that it can't win, but I felt like it went from being like 70-30 to like 30-70. Like it basically flipped the odds of like
you thought
them
it was
winning.
That bad? Okay,
I thought it was really bad. I thought it was really good pre-board and pretty bad post-board. But did you see any of those matches, Richard? What do you think about the Analyst deck?
I mean, you've described every graveyard strategy in Magic the Gathering, right? Like you auto win your pre-sideboard game. And then assuming so if you play a deck that doesn't even know you exist, you just win the match, right? But everyone else will be packing graveyard hate, 1 to 2 pieces. And then it's an uphill battle for you, right? Like either you gotta like sneak a win in here somehow. They get mana screwed, they only draw 1 hate piece, you can deal with it, but you are heavily unfavored, right? But I mean, it doesn't mean you can't win or you're not a good deck, right? It just means you gotta be able to play on the back foot. And you know, we've seen Dredge do this, right? Like, I don't have a graveyard, I'm gonna cast my Stinkweed Imp and start beating you down, right? And like they get there sometimes, right? And that's how it goes. Is this healthy? Do you want to see this as standard? I don't know. But I don't know. It's a thing.
I'm glad there's answers now. I think like for me the shift is like I was playing the deck a couple months ago when it was like kind of the hot thing, and no one was playing Graveyard Hate, and it was just kind of a joke. Like you just stomped everyone because they weren't prepared for it. I think decks are going to be more prepared after seeing the Pro Tour. Not that the deck is bad now or anything, but definitely have a plan for the answers, because I think after seeing this event, people are going to make sure they have some Graveyard Hate in their sideboard. When like 2 months ago, I don't think that was necessarily true. A lot of people didn't play any Graveyard Hate and just got steamrolled by that deck.
So I think the point it becomes a problem is when you don't auto lose your sideboard matches. And think Hogak, right? You're like, this is so oppressive. I can't get there. I gotta put the lane lines main deck, right? So that I can actually like get things done. So when you start feeling the need to put Rest in Peace in the main deck, then this is crazy. But like, you know, having like 15 plus lands on the battlefield, this is just Commander, man. Like, this is not what Richard Garfield intended.
So I like everything I hate in Magic, right? Like, oh my god,
I love that deck. Unsurprisingly, it probably should be playing more Open the Ways, but other than that, like it's a sweet deck.
In a 1v1 format, I'm going to play Open the Way.
So, Krim, I gotta ask you. I mean, it was kind of your weekend with Control making it all the way to the finals. What do you think of
any
this?
Control player too? Yuta Takahashi, who I
love.
Takahashi. Does this count? Does this count though? This is like domain. I think Control sucked, right? It's just 5%. Oh. It's just the Yuta buff. Like he just plowed his way through with Azorius Control. I don't know that it's a good deck or it was favored in anything. Was it? What do you think, Krim? It was 5% of the field. 10 brave souls brought it to the Pro Tour.
And you know what? The true believers are were mostly rewarded as a Yuta Takahashi, but again, that might be the Yuta buff. But yeah, like I think that Control might be people like, oh, just counter spells and do things. That's not the case. This standard, you really need to know how to play the matchup, right? Like, and you see that when Yuta Takahashi plays. Like, if you know the matchup, you will get the percentages that you need, right? Like, but my God, is it a tough field to navigate, because you really gotta know the field. And you got to know what you have in hand, and you used to think 5 turns ahead. Well, now you got to have like Giga Brain. You got to go 10 steps ahead. Yeah, like it's a wild meta, but Control can be very rewarding right now if you know the lines. And like, God, how sick is this? By the way, there are 2 kinds of Control decks. There's Dimir Control and there's Azorius Control. Like at the Pro Tour, how sick is that? Oh. God damn, that's good.
you know, it's like so bad because the field is so open, right? Like everyone's just playing random mid-range piles, so you don't really know what to expect. You can't tune your Control deck, and you saw it in the finals. Like, you just had bad, like you just lined up like very poorly, right? You had a bunch of cards that didn't do what you wanted to do, and Cavern of the Souls is in the format. So that's the thing. The funniest thing is, the Japanese team, you know, with 3 or 4 in the top 4, they all play different decks. You know, they tested together. They're like, whatever, we're just playing our pet favorites, right? And Yuta comes with Azorius Control.
Boy, does he!
And you know, this is where open deck lists. So top 8's always open deck list, right? But like, this is when you get the Control players on the rope. You know exactly what they have in their deck. You know you cannot answer it, right? You're like, oh, I got this Hullbreak Horror. Well, you got 1 mana. It's gone, right? Leyline Binding. Can't deal with it. Like, I know exactly what's in your deck. So it works both ways, right? So, but I just love watching a great Control player play. That's like one of my favorite things in Magic, especially when their deck sucks. Like, I hate it when Control decks are meta and like they're like so good. You're like, whatever, right? I like it when they like suck crap. It's like the Jund experience. It's like a 30% win rate deck, but because you're so good, 51%. Here we go. Let's go.
I mean,
right?
For those
that
that
was
don't
Azorius
know,
Control, in my opinion.
For those that don't know, Yuta Takahashi, a legend, an icon to me, because when fairies may not be one of the best archetypes in current, or what is it, modern 2016 or so, I have no idea. Yuta Takahashi still played fairies, pushed that through, won, and took it to took himself to like, I think, a Pro Tour with that or something, right? He won a GP, I can't remember. I was just like, that is my king right there.
I mean, he definitely played really well this weekend. The finals match, Domain is so tough for the control deck. And I think, like, even just looking at the top 4, it really shows how tough it is to be control these days. Like, how do you build a control deck that can effectively stop Domain Ramp and Boros Convoke? And then I throw in Esper midrange, too. You have, like, 3 very different archetypes. Like, the go big mana, gotta stop Atraxa strategy, the super fast flood the board, I really need to have, like, an early sweeper strategy, and then Dimir or Esper that just kind of, like, can do whatever it needs to in the matchup, can play like control, can play like aggro. Seems very challenging. So really impressive that Yuta like managed to go all the way through to the finals with that deck, even though Domain Ramp took it down. Anything else stick out about this Pro Tour to you? Anything, Dex, or anything you want to mention while we're on the Pro Tour before we move on?
I just want to mention the fact that, oh my god, I love the usage of Chrome Host, like Seed Shark or whatever. Like this, like watching like Ikawa deploy the shark at the exact moment to have it get a free 6/6 off of Leyline Binding, and like I don't know, it was just really cool watching that get played, and the use of Cavern of Souls. I'm not a ramp player, right? Like I despise Domain, but like it was so fun watching Ikawa play it, using Cavern of Souls to like bait the, oh, I might have an Atraxa, to then buy some extra turns. Like, okay, well, I got to leave up mana to have an answer for their Atraxa to come down. And then, but I also make it so, but by doing that, Ikawa made it so that the opposing player deploys more threats, so they can be like, okay, now I've deployed enough threats, I can sit back and wait and just beat until he tries to like play the big angel, which then lined up perfectly with his actual handful of Archangel of Wraths. And it's like, oh,
Yep.
oh, masterful play, masterful play. Like such a thing where I don't think, like the untrained eye may not see it, but like anybody that like can see sweet plays like that right there. It's never flashy. It's never like, oh my god, off the top rope, right? It's like subtle, very subtle. I love that.
Here's my takeaway. Play up the beanstalk, Trollolo, Leyline Binding. Essential recall. Second up the beanstalk, Leyline Binding. Oh, look, my ramp split card makes 3/3, whatever. Like, I'm like, this deck is like a modern deck almost. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, but that deck, even though overall I don't think Domain Ramp had that great of a weekend, but yeah, I went all the way through and it can do some ridiculous things.
When
is
it gets
that
a good
the
hand, it's
Ikawa buff?
funny.
Oh,
wait,
yeah.
wait. So was this a tournament of archetypes, or was this a tournament of Ikawa versus Takahashi? Because I feel like the two decks that are in the finals are not what you think would be here.
Yeah, I mean, so those decks were represented, right? So Domain
Yeah,
was 6.8% of the meta, Azorius controlled 4.8, but definitely compared to Esper or even Boros Convoke, Temur Analyst, they weren't like very high. And the other thing, I've been like looking through these results, I don't see a lot of other Azorius control or Domain Ramp players like near the top of the constructed standings. It's not like we're just flooded with like everyone that played Domain killed it, everyone that played Azorius control. They did fine, but it's not like all the 8-2 players or whatever playing these decks. So I think that like it must just be that they're really good with those decks. Like we know Yuta's really good at control. That's kind of what Yuta does. I don't really know Ikawa as much, but apparently pretty good with the ramp deck, because even in a weekend when most people did okay but not great with it, kind of just crushed it, both of them.
Yeah, and then like one other thing was Assimilation Aegis. I don't know how this Azorius artifacts list exists, and I'm happy that it did. So to say that there wasn't innovation, I'm going to close out on the fact that Assimilation Aegis, along with Simulacrum Synthesizer, right, Braided Net, like, come on, man, this standard is so wild. It is so wild right now.
I mean, I got to shout out the Legends deck too. We haven't mentioned that. That deck is really powerful. I think Jason, you went 8-0-2 with the deck. One of the best constructed performances if you just look at only constructed play. Didn't even manage to lose with it until the top 8. But the deck was really, really sweet, and it's really tough to play. Have you tried playing that deck at all, the Legends deck? It's, if you want to try this deck, I would recommend it.
My
but
mana.
Yeah, that's very easy to do, but you definitely gotta practice with it a lot, because it's all about looping like your channel lands from the graveyard and these really weird, odd synergistic lines. So if you're thinking about trying that one on Arena, definitely get in some reps with it, because it is not an easy deck to play well. Anyway, let's move on. Hit up a couple other topics. I gotta. This is some fun news, and I gotta bring it up just because it's so funny. So there was a news article out of Milwaukee over the weekend that featured some Magic the Gathering, and the title is "Collector's Obsession: Wisconsin Man Amasses 138,000 copies of one Magic the Gathering card." That is Stone Rain Dan Bernard, almost 140K copies of Stone Rain, all different versions, German, French, languages, editions. I got to ask you guys, if you're going to have 150,000 copies of one card, what would it be? And I know no Black Lotuses. That's cheating. Yes, I know. Pick the most expensive card. That's like wishing for more wishes. That's not allowed in this game.
Oh, I mean, I think for, oh God, for me, it'd probably be either Chase the Mind Sculptors, which I can have now, right? Because like that's just a card I've loved, or Grinning Demons. Or maybe even Shadow Mage Infiltrators.
Ooh, okay, that's that. Those ones are tough though. There's not that many versions, are there? Not that many Grinning Demons. There might be Shadow Mage Infiltrators, but
yeah, Shadow Mage is getting more love now in reprints. But Grinning Demon, I mean, I'm a little bit biased. I have it tattooed on my arm, so I think I have to choose that.
Are we MTG financing this?
No. This is Stone Rain.
Okay,
Stone Rain's worthless.
If MTG Finance was an option, I would choose Obscuring Haze. Because one day everyone's going to wake up and understand how broken it is. And then I can unload my 138,000 Obscuring Hazes for sanity reasons. I actually did the math. It's about, like those big bulk boxes. Those hold 5,000 cards, right? 138,000 would be like 27 of those. That's a lot of cards. So I would have to choose a basic land, I think. And then you could have like every forest ever made or something. That'd be a cool actual collection to look at. And it would have some meaning to having this many copies. If we're just going for the memes, I would just do like Secret Rendezvous or something. Just everyone you meet.
Stormcrow. Yargle.
Stormcrow. I didn't realize this, but I guess I kind of already almost, okay, it's not 138,000, but okay, I might have had a bad one in the Antiquities War. I bought a lot of those when that was around, right? I was like, oh boy, I can't wait for this to take off. But I found out that Inventors Fair took off, and I have like 100 of those.
Ooh, that's pretty sweet. I would probably steal Stone Rain, really. I want to say like Blood Moon or Panharmonicon, but those are like $10 cards. And
yeah,
I don't think I would ever want to have 150,000 copies of a $10 card. I just sell them. Stone Rain's like perfect though, because it's like so, maybe I'll go Molten Rain. Maybe it just one up him. I'm going to get 160,000 Molten Rains. Take that. Take that, Dan. Who's got the collection now?
I gotta appreciate Dan here. He took the Seto Kaiba approach. I can't tell if he loves the card or if he's doing the world a favor. He's like,
keeping him out of commander. Yep.
Yeah. You can't cast them if I own them all. Like, right? He's going Seto Kaiba, going around collecting all the Blue Eyes White Dragons and then ripping them in front of people. So he's the only one that has them.
Have you guys ever collected a certain card like that or not really? I don't think I ever have in Magic. Like one card that I'm just like, I want to get as many copies as possible. I've seen other people show up, like roll up to an event with a binder where it's like a binder of one card and they just like collect this one random card that they love so much. But you have a card like that or not really?
What is
138,000 copies?
They're all the same though.
Well, even like a couple hundred copies. 138,000 is probably not realistic, but have you ever collected like a bunch of one card?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I can see owning one of every Stone Rain version. I get that one. Like,
yeah,
I get
that makes sense.
Like, why do you want like 1,000 of them, like of the same one? To do what?
What do you ever do with them? Like, yeah,
you destroy target land.
Okay, I got it.
Destroy target land.
So rather than like have 30 like bulk boxes sitting around, you glue them on your wall and you just wallpaper your house in Stone Rains. How many Stone Rains do you think would be needed to wallpaper your house in Stone Rains?
You could tile them across.
Now I kind of do that. That
makes sense to me. I'm like, that has a purpose, right?
Yeah, I kind of want to do that now. I might have to talk to Dan and see if I can borrow a few of those from my wall. That would actually look really cool in the background. Come to think
No,
of it.
no, no. What you need to do is acquire 100,000 stone raids and trade them to him for for 100,000 molten disasters or whatever molten raids.
I believe there's. I'll try to remember to link the article in the description of this, but apparently, if you have extra stone rains, you can contact him through Facebook and hook him up if you want to donate some more stone rains to Dan to keep the collection growing. But let's move on and talk some arena. So this week was Q1 earning reports week for Hasbro. The big number is Hasbro kind of sucks, down 24% in revenue, mostly because of E1 and their television stuff, selling it off, going horribly. Magic wise, Wizards actually up 7% in the quarter compared to last year at this time. Tabletop, I believe, was up 5%. They said Arena actually declined slightly, but that's not a big deal because they're doing all this stuff to revamp Arena. So I've seen some like videos that seem kind of harsh about this, like, oh my god, it's the end of the world, like, you know, Hasbro falling apart. And Hasbro, like, they definitely have their issues, but from a Magic perspective, these numbers don't seem that bad to me, right? Like, what did you make of it, Richard and Grim? Like, these numbers are fine, right?
They are all like, you know, when like you just see so many numbers, they just get like they just don't mean, they stop.
They all
making
blend
sense to
together.
you. They blend together. It's like playing like an MMO, right? It's like, oh, very cool, very cool. That's what this looks like to me. Like, I can't tell, like, is this bad, right? Or let's say that is this like the profits, right? What's actually bringing those in, right? Like we're told one thing, but I'm very curious what it is, right? Like, okay, well, specifically, was it, like, let's just say, is the Fallout set insane? Like, did it pop off that hard?
So here's some of the specifics. Fallout, best-selling commander decks of all time. So Fallout popped off super hard. They also, someone brought this up, they also shipped Outlaws of Thunder Junction just before the end of Q1, which some people were like, oh, they're like trying to manipulate the numbers. I think that's kind of standard practice in business, though, from what I know, is a lot of times, like when they know the quarter is going to end, they're going to try to get the stuff sold on that quarter to make the bottom line look good. So I think that's kind of normal. So Thunder Junction Fallout, one thing they did not mention, even a little bit, was Murders at Karlov Manor. That one didn't show up. So I'm pretty sure Murders did not do well, or they would be touting it instead of avoiding it. But it looks like Fallout was like the big thing that really drove Magic this quarter. Does that surprise you?
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Gush about Fallout?
Gush about Fallout, Richard.
I started watching the Amazon series because of Magic the Gathering, and oh my god, it's so
got
good,
you,
dude.
The show is awesome,
and I'm like trying to build Fallout decks still. I'm like, screw Thunder Junction through Modern Horizons 3. I'm like, all this stuff is nonsense. Like, they got it good, you know. Like, I think Magic IP is done for. I think Fallout, like, is spectacular. I think Amazon would be very happy with the results that Wizards produced. Wizards is very happy with the results they produced for themselves. I think this is the truth going forward. The only Universes Beyond that truly sucked, which I'm not even sure if it really sucked, was Doctor Who. Like, that's the only one that didn't stick with me. But I've done everything else. I watched like 3 seasons of Stranger Things, 4, however many seasons there existed. Lord of the Rings, obviously a banger. I played Baldur's Gate, love Baldur's Gate. Like, all these Universes Beyond, they're working. They're working, right? They're working. And Fallout is such a banger. I want them to return to Fallout with another set of commander decks or whatever, right? So yeah, I can see how it's the greatest commander set of all time.
I knew nothing about the games, right? I'd missed that window because I was so busy playing World of Warcraft growing up.
So your entire life.
Yeah, my entire life.
Other game.
I actually only had Magic and WoW. There was no time for anything else. So there was, despite not playing it, the set came out. You know, I knew this was happening. I see the cards, then I watch the show. It's so cool now, like going back and like seeing how it ties into the games too. Are you gonna try to play any of the games, Richard? Because I played New Vegas for a little bit, and after watching the show, I've had this like resurgence in like, oh my god, the show was awesome.
New Vegas is sweet.
Yeah,
I've done
that's
the
the.
research.
I've never played one though.
I've concluded that I'm supposed to play Fallout 4. Apparently, Fallout like is really old. Like they haven't made any recent games.
I didn't know it was
So
old.
the people are like, this doesn't even run on my PC. I'm like, Jesus, like this is old. But apparently Fallout 4 is like the most reasonable one to play. Like the classics are fairly too dated. So if you want to play the classics, they're like the
New
best
Vegas.
ones, but only
When
for
is-
their time. Only for their time. Like if you play them now, it might be a bit weird.
New
But I don't
Vegas
know.
still holds. I
When is
played
it?
it
When
like
is
I played
4
it
released?
recently. It's like, do you know that New Vegas is only like 11, 12 years old? I think.
that's
like
ancient.
2010.
2010, right? Yeah. Okay, so 14
But Fallout
years
4
old.
was 2015, so that's even still like almost a decade old now. Yeah, I never played 4, so I can't speak to 4. I know New Vegas is really good. That's one that I played like a lot of and enjoyed when it came out. Never played 4. I'd moved on to like playing Magic by that point more and didn't really get into it. But I would recommend it. I think it's worth checking out. I'm surprised. I didn't think that Fallout, like, I thought it would be better than Doctor Who, which was kind of like the worstest we've seen so far of the like Commander Deck Secret Layers. I wasn't expecting best of all time though. I was thinking what you were just saying, like that's kind of an old IP. They haven't made a game in a decade, but apparently it ended up being like a super great set, and that gives me hope for like some of these future sets. And I think you're right. We're gonna see more and more of this moving forward because it's just like such an easy way to make it work. Why do you think Doctor Who flopped? Is it just? I was talking to Tomer about this. Well, they had a little meeting. Like, do you think it's just that there's not fighting? I think maybe that's the baseline. Like, for an IP to work in a game like Magic, I think you need some sort of like fighting, violence to like make the cards make sense. And Doctor Who just didn't have that. It's just kind of like people doing things. Is that Louis? Is that the issue?
I mean, I don't know, Doctor Who fans, maybe that are hardcore Doctor Who fans can let us know in the comments. But like, I felt like all the Doctor Who fans I know were just like, it was fine. It was fun. I liked it. They didn't think it was bad. They thought the flavor was good. And like me, I would say I'm nowhere near any of my friends that love Doctor Who because they love Doctor Who. I'm like very much so like casually. I can maybe talk a little bit here if it's like the main seasons.
No. Krim knows every doctor, the actors, the supporting cast.
That is true.
This is not casual.
You were
in any
recommending
sense,
episodes
okay?
to us, yeah.
But I would still say that's casual. Like that's pretty casual.
Just like
into
you
it.
casually watch anime. Krim
Okay,
is
all right.
Doctor Who fan. But he's saying something because the people that like Doctor Who really like it, but there's few of them. Like Fallout is like a mass appeal kind of thing, whereas Doctor Who's like very niche. I think that's the difference. So
Yeah,
of the people that
too
love
niche.
Doctor Who, they probably love the Commander stuff, right? But we watch Doctor Who, we're like, it's fine. All right, but I watched Fallout. I was like, oh my god, yeah, Fallout, right? And then I'm like, hey, let's watch more, right? Let's go play the games, right? So like, that's the difference, right? Like same with like Lord of the Rings, right? It's very widespreading, right? So if you've just heard of Lord of the Rings, like, oh yeah, Post Malone 101 ring, it's just mass appeal. So I think it's mass appeal rather than anything to do with the genre. Like, think 3-body problem. Do you think if they made a Magic set that would work? I don't know, right? Like that's technically sci-fi-ish. There's technically fighting, but it's very popular though. So would it work? Like that would be the more interesting experiment than Doctor Who, I think.
I think 3-body experiment, what it like talks about and kind of presents itself as, is a little hard to get across through cards, right? So I don't know if that could work. I think Doctor Who has its elements, but I think it's too niche. I myself did not know Fallout was this big. When this was revealed on the slate of things, I thought Fallout was going to be just like Doctor Who, a very niche market, like that might, maybe get, like its fan base that exists happy. Does this, okay, then now I'm wondering, because I personally think all the Assassin's Creed games are ass.
Yeah, is Assassin's Creed
you can't spell assassin without twice the ass, right? Like so like this is how right? Like, but at the same time, could I be off base here? Is the franchise sick? Like, because I didn't even think Fallout would do that well, and I think Assassin's Creed is infinitely worse than Fallout, right?
I think the issue with it, I think Assassin's Creed is a IP based on what we've seen from other IPs that should do well enough. Like if Fallout's going to be the best selling commander decks of all time, I imagine Assassin's Creed's got to be good enough to bring people in. My concern is there's no commander decks. And I think that's like my concern for Assassin's Creed is it's like beyond boosters and it's going to be like small packs of collector boosters sold at a really high price. So it's not the IP that scares me. It's just how they're releasing it. I think if they release just Assassin's Creed's commander precons, they'd probably do pretty well based on like how well Fallout did.
Are they timing it with a new game or a new TV show or something? Like, do we know what it's?
I don't know actually.
Going with?
When
Because
does the
I think they're gonna
set
get
come out?
me. I don't know. Like next year, or no,
Like,
later this
yeah.
year. Later this year.
I think there's supposed to be a new game coming out at some point, but I'm not exactly sure when. So I don't know how well it's going to line up with the
There's the
release.
nostalgia factor. Because like, I played the first Assassin's Creed and I loved it, and then apparently the series like became very bad, but they turned it around somewhere. Apparently it's not a meme anymore. Like apparently they went back to their roots, and the last couple of games have been good. So I am going to assume they're gonna get me. I'm gonna get the cards. I'm like, what are these cards? I don't know. Then I'm gonna see reviews like 10 out of 10, Assassin's Creed, the new game, greatest game ever. You should sink 80 hours into this game. And I'll be like, well, I guess I'll try the demo and then I'll be playing it. Like say like Baldur's Gate. Like Baldur's Gate is literally this, right? I'm like, I played Baldur's Gate 3, like the original Baldur's Gate. When I was a kid, there's all these commander cards that I don't know about, but like everyone's like, oh, 10 out of 10, game of the decade. You should play it, right? I'm like, yeah, okay. Played it, got hooked. Then I'm like, oh, look at all these magic cards I missed. Let's go back and read them all, right? Like, what are all these cards? And then I build all the decks. So I imagine Assassin's Creed will follow the same formula. And I think the fan base is large enough.
I think there's a show on the horizon. For those that have watched, I think it would be on Netflix. Because for those that have watched another show that I think of a game that is pretty bad, actually, the show's like awful. But like I also didn't care for the game either.
Which show is
but
this?
I can't speak about it because it might be a spoiler. But The Witcher. But like yeah.
Wait, are they related? The Witcher and Assassin's Creed?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if they are, but there's speculation that there could be a nod just because of some symbols and banners that exist inside the show. But like again, this is loosely like just like what I've read about and all of that because I was curious about like why is Assassin's Creed relevant? I thought it slipped into irrelevancy after the third one.
I think too, we got to remember the nostalgia part of it, and I think that's a lot of it with these sets. Is it's like I remember playing Fallout 15 years ago and it was really cool. So there's a Fallout set now. So I think that's what Wizards is playing to. And like, if you think about the audience of Magic, it's a lot of like 20 to 35, 40-year-old people who like, even if the IP might not be relevant today, it was, I don't know, they were playing it back in college 15 years ago and they loved it or whatever. So like, I think that's part of what makes these sets work too. Like it doesn't have to necessarily be a super modern IP to work because remember like Street Fighter, that's like super outdated and like that was like a banger that everyone loved.
I even not loving Street Fighter at the point that it came out. Right, like as much like because I loved Mortal Kombat because that was what I grew up with, right?
Yeah.
But Street Fighter has always been a household name. I think it's just one of those like legacy titles where if I told you Sonic, we don't have to have a Sonic game. We could go decades without a Sonic game, but Sonic still moves. Sonic's still like he's still going fast. Right, like
I have movies now. They have movies. He's still relevant.
But like the movies are like like I enjoy them, right? But they're not. When you go to a Sonic movie, you're not expecting it to be like, oh my god, it beat Dune, right? Like in sales, like there are IPs out there where I think they are legacy, and no matter what, they will always move. And I think Street Fighter was always going to move.
I would argue it's the Super Bowl factor. Remember when we were kids watching Super Bowl, like, who are these geezers performing on stage, right? But now in 2024, we're like, oh yeah, Eminem, woo, right? Like it's always like 30-year-old IPs or something, right? And you just like, there's just so many people with money that can enjoy it. So you're just gonna hit on that nostalgia factor. But like, has anyone under the age of like 50 ever performed at a Super Bowl? I don't know, right? Like, it's just the oldest people imaginable. Same with Hollywood. You watch a movie, I'm like, does Leonardo DiCaprio need to be an action star? Does Liam Neeson need to be an action? Like, is there literally no 20-year-old guy that can perform this? You know, does Sandra Bullock need to play like a 20-year-old? Like, I don't know what's going on, but we just love sticking to like the old favorites. So Magic is no different from the rest of the world. So I foresee it happening, and it's probably very successful, as shown by Hollywood and the Super Bowl, etc. We don't need new blood. Just keep dragging out. Just keep dragging out the geezers.
Yep. Prop them up a little bit. Give them some
Bring them back
salts.
up.
They'll be fine. They make it through another round. I got to ask you guys about one more thing before we get to the end of this. So part of this Hasbro earnings report is their CEO, Chris Cox, talked a little bit about the future of Magic Arena. And the big takeaways are so Arena was down a little bit on the corner, but whatever. The big deal is they are refreshing the client, was the words he used, over the next couple years. And he specifically mentioned it's partly because of the popularity of Commander and multiplayer play and paper. What do you make of this? Do you think it is actually realistic? So refreshing the client, that's probably fine, good. Do you think it's actually realistic that they're going to refresh the client in a way that has 4-player Commander on Arena? Is that even possible? Is that just the CEO wishful thinking? What do you think about these rumors about Commander on Arena?
That just seems like CEO talk right there. Like
Just
that's
CEO, don't take
like-
it seriously.
like yeah, like that's just CEO talk. I'll believe it, just like everything now, right? Like all these things, I'll believe it when I see it, right? Like I'll believe it when I see it. Once we can launch a new set on Arena and not have Arena go down for like half a year.
Still be able
Yeah,
to sideboard. I
yeah,
can
like-
see my sideboard slots after we launch a new set. Yeah.
Yeah, once we can do that, right? Then I'm like, all right, let's talk about multiplayer. But like, once I see Pioneer on Arena,
I don't know though. I feel kind of the same way, but I think they got to have those big like money signs in their eyes, seeing how well Commander is doing in paper and thinking, boy, if we could get this in digital, we would make so much money. So the incentive is there, right, Richard? What do you make of this?
I'm gonna have a wall of shame. So this quote, Arena Commander, right after Magic is a top 3 esport. Like these are like the big words for I don't know, business people, right? You're like, oh, Commander's so popular. Of course we're gonna have Commander Arena. So they're probably working on it, but it's gonna be Arena V2, right? Like
Yeah.
there's no way they take the existing client and Ninja 4-player into it and make it work. If you're lucky, they will make a new client where your collection carries over, and they'll call it Arena, and then you'll play it. But like Arena took like 8 million years to make. Like, I can't imagine them doing this fast, and I don't see a reason for them like they're just gonna eat. Like Arena has eaten into paper standard sales, right? Like they've eaten away at it. They didn't just magically get like new money, right? Like they ate a portion of it. So when they do Commander Arena, they're gonna eat into their paper again, and then they're gonna figure where are they gonna go now, right? Like they moved from 60 card to Commander with Arena. Then what? Now when we eat away at our Commander paper, where are you gonna go, right? So they have to have some kind of plan for that, and I don't know that they're as gung ho as they want to say they are, because right now, like literally, Commander keeping Hasbro afloat, right? Are you gonna mess with that? Like, or who's gonna propose this and be like, okay, let's do it, right? So it's a little dicey.
I actually think the timing makes sense with them launching a new Arena client in the next couple years. Like Arena dropped 2019 was the official launch, and beta was before that. So we're going on 5 years now. If you look at like Magic Online released 2002. The version 2 came out 2008. Version 3 was kind of like part of version 2 because of some weird stuff. Version 4, 2012. So if you look at like Magic Online, 5-ish years seems to be like the refresh time where they have like a new version of it that comes out. Is it unrealistic to think within the next, behind the scenes, they're working on just like a brand new version of Arena that's going to be better than ever and it drops in the next couple of years? Like, is that possible?
I mean, should they? Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to see that, like especially if they rebuild. But the things that would be required to get like a full multiplayer experience, they have to rebuild the entire engine that it's built on, right? Like that's a actual just full reboot. That's not a refresh. That's a full reboot, right?
Yep.
So
They made it work on Moto though, so we
when
know
the
they
poor
can do
interns
it.
get some vacation time, they can start working on this, right? Like, where are the resources to make
But
this, right?
maybe the resources, maybe they're not just ignoring adding Pioneer or some of the things people complain about. What if they're actually dumping their resources into this spectacular V2 client that's going to drop in a couple of years and it's going to be way better and have all the things we've been asking for and Commander?
Obviously, I think that's going to be, assuming that the wishful thinking actually goes off. I think that'd be pretty cool. Because I think the one thing Commander players need, and I think card game players have always been needing this whole time, especially in the Magic community, I think is a way to communicate while playing Magic. So I hope they put like voice chat, and I think that'll go well. Like Hearthstone does it so well, and people add you and then they rage at you. Now I want you to just say it to me, right? Like, can you please yell it to me? Like, just imagine a Commander game, right, and on Arena, and then it's just with a voice chat.
And you can just yell at your opponents. Yeah. I don't know how you solve that problem. They're very hesitant to even put chat on Arena.
No.
I can't imagine them just going voice chat, but I also can't imagine Commander working without being able to communicate with the rest of the table. So it's actually a interesting problem.
Yeah, like,
Don't attack
come
me,
on,
bro. Deal.
Grab a leg.
Grab a leg. Always have a backup plan. Always have a backup. What incarnation? Honestly, just okay. Here it is. You drop the voice chat into the client, and then you let life, so like natural selection, work its way there. See what happens.
I mean, you can fix this. You just you have to tie your real ID to your Arena account so that when you talk smack about someone, they know your name and picture, right? Like, it's a human over there. So
wasn't there a game? I heard a podcast or something about a game that did this. I don't remember. It was a big game, but then they started stalking the devs to prove the point that it was such a bad idea. So the devs had people showing up to their houses and stuff. And I was like, oh, so there is risk to it as much as it would solve the anonymity issue.
I mean, I've actually never had a problem with voice. I feel voice. So basically, when
ever
you're
played
online,
a Riot video game?
I played Overwatch. People are very mean over text because you don't see another person. When you hear their voice, it makes them more human, so you're less mean. And if you see their face on webcam, you're even less mean. So it
it's true.
Makes it less mean, right? Like at the LGS, very rarely do you get someone so outrightly mean, right? Because you're standing right there and it's weird, right? But online, gloves come off, right? So looking forward to chatting with everyone on Arena. We're all gonna be civil.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll go super fine. But anyway,
we need it for Rule 0, Seth. We need it for how can we Rule 0 without the voice chat?
Exactly.
Oh man, I am not ready to see those comedic lobby room names on Arena. No stacks, no interaction, no lands. Don't play Magic. Don't touch my stuff. Don't do anything. I just want you to watch me play Magic.
No crims. No crims allowed.
No crims, no nothing. None of it. All right. Watch me play Magic.
Well, on that note, everyone, I think that brings us to the end of our podcast for today. No fish mail this week, but Richard, we're going to get to it someday. How do people send in fish mail if they want to?
All right, hit us up on Twitter at MTGGoldfish with the hashtag MTGFishmail, and we'll get to your questions on air.
So that brings us to the end of episode 282 of the MTG Goldfish podcast. So Richard Krim, thanks for hanging out. Thanks to everyone for listening. Thanks to Card Conduit for supporting the show. And we will be back next week to talk about whatever goes on in the world of Magic. So until then, have an amazing week, everyone. And this is a crew signing out.